Good morning, everybody. This is Jared with Fluty Homestead, and it is colder than a well digger outside today, but it's going to be up about 50 and the sun's shining. So today, I showed you in the last video when I was planting my fence, my berry bushes up there, and I'm going to move them today. I've got a spot picked out. Right next to the garden. I'm going to move them, and then we're going to build a trellis around them soon. And going to move my blueberry bush. And then later today, if I can find me a place I want that ain't muddy, I might plant a few little baskets of peas, and I'm going to do them different this year. I'm not growing enough peas this year to can or anything. I just want enough for a couple good messes. So we're going to take a few tomato cages and plant some peas in them, and we're going to try to get that done today as well. So I'm going to go, I'm going to build me a fire in the building so I can go in and warm up a little bit here and there, and then I'm going to get busy for the day. Okay, we're getting ready to move the blackberries, and I've decided to put them down here on this little point right above my driveway, and I think this way it won't be right in the garden, but it's easy to get to, and I think they'll do okay here. And I can't really do nothing else here, and I always just end up mowing the grass, so I believe we're going to give this a shot. Okay, we got our berries all dug up, and man, them things, I had more of them than I thought. You can see I got a nice root ball with all of them, and these things are pretty tough anyway from my experience with them. But I started out with 3 of these bushes. I planted them 3 years ago, and I got them at the Appalachian Seed Swap at Pikeville, and they're Apache thornless blackberries. And started out with 3, and I think I just now dug up 8. And these rascals, everywhere a limb touches the ground, you'll get 1 or 2 to come up. All these little ones here is limbs from last year that hit the ground, and I just cut them off and dug them up. And I moved one last year by cutting it off and then moving it. And so these things, if you want some berries, you let the limbs hit the ground, or you can cut the limbs off, I reckon, and plant them in the ground, and they'll grow like that too. So we're going to plant them on this little point, and then this summer we'll build us a trellis for them. And I'm going to put some good old rotten horse manure around these and give them some good nutrients, and see how they do. So we're going to get these things planted. I've got a little set of post hole diggers up here, and I'm going to dig me some more holes, and we'll get them in the ground. Okay, I got my holes all dug, and we're going to plant these babies now. And this in here may need to go a little bit deeper. We'll move it down here to this big hole just for the sake of video. And these have some dead on them I need to trim off. Like this stalk here, it's dead. And I'll go ahead and cut it once I get these planted. And then I'm going to put a stake beside each one. And we'll get these roots down this hole good. And then we're just going to fill up with dirt around him. Then I'll level him up good. Try and do this with one hand. And I believe this soil is going to be pretty good. And like I said, I ended up with 8 plants, and I started out when I planted these with 3. So that's pretty good. I probably would have had more if I'd have transplanted some more, but don't want to overdo it. Alright, and the rest of the dirt, I'll put that old composted horse manure around it, and that'll be pretty good. So I'm going to set my camera down here and I'll get the rest of these in the ground. Okay, I got them all in the ground. And down towards that telephone pole is 3 of the smallest ones. And up here, these are all the bigger ones. And I hope they'll do okay. I'll put that dirt around them and drive a stake beside them, like I said. And now I read an article online, which you know how reading stuff on the internet is. You're supposed to believe everything on the internet. But it said that late winter was a good time to move these. So that's what I done. So now if all Jared's blackberries die out, you won't hear me crying about it, because I mean, I done what the internet said. So if they die, it's my own fault. But I think they're gonna be okay. And I'm gonna trim off the rest of these dead here, and then put the stakes in them before we get the trellis. And hopefully they'll do good this year. Okay, what I've done here is I planted me 4 of my tomato cages full of peas. And I worked some old horse manure in the ground here. And this is over to the side of my garden, out of my way, because I want to be able to get my tractor in the big garden still to till it up. So I just worked me up about 6 foot long space here, maybe 8 feet long, with a hoe. And I worked the manure in there a little bit. It's still damp, but it always is when I plant peas. And then I put me a tomato cage, and I left about a foot between them. A little less in places, but enough room where I can come in here and get my hands in here. And then I just took my finger and pushed pea seeds in the ground all around the cage, and then some in the middle in each one. And this won't be a lot of peas by no means, but it'll be enough to have a few messes. And I don't want enough peas to can. Seemed like every time I try to grow enough to can or freeze, it ended up taking up a lot of my room, and I'd rather have more space for some other spring stuff. So we planted just enough to enjoy them, but not enough to put too much work into them. And then these will be easily to take down and plant something else in their place. So they say around here you can plant peas on Valentine's Day, and it's just a little after. So hopefully they'll do good. The weather looks like it's going to be fairly warm. So maybe they'll do pretty good this year, and we'll have a couple of messes. Well, that's all I got for you today, and got a lot done today. The weather was pretty, and got a whole lot of chores done around here. So appreciate y'all watching, and make sure you like and subscribe, and give us a thumbs up, and love reading y'all's comments, and hope y'all have a very blessed day.